You were having dairy breakfast, attaboy, with your pals the other day.
Nothing like a little black metal to get your podcast started off, right?
Oh yeah.
That is our new band that we have. It's good we're getting some new bands, and this one is the
Dean.
Reptilian Dilemma.
Hey, Dean.
Hey,
How are you now?
good, and you?
Not so bad.
I just get so excited.
I know. I love that we got like 3 or 4 new bands
we did.
in the last 2 days, which is really cool.
And
So-
if you've got a band that you're in,
Please.
that you like to play, and you've got some studio quality recordings, send them our way. Host at howareyounowpod.com. We're always looking for new bands, and we'll be putting a new band on the show each episode that we do.
Yeah.
Until they quit making Letterkenny, which we don't want to think about that right now
Nope.
because it makes me very sad.
It'll be Supernatural. It'll be like
Yeah.
Supernatural. Once we start getting tired of it, that's when it'll go off the air.
Yeah, probably. And also, what we've always got going on, our cosplay contest.
Yes.
You can find out all about that at howareyounowpod.com/cosplay. And if you'd like to leave us a voicemail for any reason, you just want to say hey or whatever, or if you have a thought on a previous episode or the upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail, and that's at 304-50-FERDA, and we will get your voicemail and we'll play it on the show.
Yes.
So as I said earlier, the music for this week is Reptilian Dilemma, and our guest this week is Liz Orton. Liz, how are you now?
Good, and you?
Oh, not so bad. Thumbs up.
I did it right.
So tell us your Letterkenny origin story.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Mine's kind of funny. So my ex-husband actually sent me the clip of them hucking the ball around the other day.
Yeah. The balls.
He sent me those two. He sent me the clip of that, and he didn't know what it was. He just thought it was funny. And I swear I probably watched that clip like 50 times because and I still
it feels pretty natural.
laugh like a complete idiot. I still will just laugh like a complete idiot every time I watch that clip.
Oh, yes.
And so one night I watched it about 10 times and started doing, like looking, I was like, there's got to be more to this. And then I find it. This link to Hulu, and oh my gosh, and
Hallelujah.
it's like, and there's seasons, and I binged them all that night.
Excellent.
Like, all of them.
So what you're saying is ex-husbands are good for something.
Yes, and actually he did the same thing. I was like, Carl, there's more. There's so much more. And
That's a good story.
It is a good story.
Yeah.
And tell us how you found us.
Okay. You guys are really funny. So, and I've never even told you guys this.
Oh.
So on Instagram, you know how you have like your friend suggestions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You two kept coming up, like your pictures. And I was like, I don't know you guys. So, okay, here's the funny thing though, is that I did recognize you guys. I'm like, I probably do, but I don't know but I kept like closing you guys because I was like, man, I'm sick of seeing you guys. I don't know you.
I'm sick of seeing me too, so I don't blame you.
And I kept exiting, but you wouldn't go away. Like every time I would come up on Instagram, you were there. So I'm like, fine, I'm just going to follow you so you guys won't come up anymore. But then I figured out that I was like, oh, I met you guys years ago. Like years ago from the rockabilly scene, from the amazing Jen Miller, my very best friend.
We love her.
Oh yes,
I got to see her yesterday.
I know. I'm so envious. Both times she's been in town this year. It's January, but both times she's been in town in the last year, I haven't been able to see her.
Usually she's like in out, round trip, and this time she was in town because her mother passed away.
Yes,
but
I did hear that.
Yeah, but anyway, so and then I was actually talking to Jen about, I said, have you watched Letterkenny? And she's like, oh yeah. And she's like, my friends do a podcast on it. And anyway, long story short, I'm like, I follow them. That's so weird. And then, and I just searched around a little bit and met you guys and absolutely fell in love with the podcast, and then met you guys and fell in love even more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay, we love friends in real life.
I know we are friends in real life.
Yes.
How awesome is that? And before I met you again, I fangirl over you because we were at the same concert.
That was so fucking amazing.
Oh my God, it's Tiara. Oh my God.
And that was the first time I'd ever had somebody go, so I know you're here, but I don't want to come up and bother you. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Come over. Who is this?
I'm totally blushing right now.
Oh, you're adorable.
I know.
So please go on about us.
No, stop, please.
So let's talk a bit more about yourself. You have anything that you'd like to plug or talk about?
Oh gosh. It's funny. I knew this question was coming out, and I started thinking about it yesterday going, I'm a stay-at-home mom. What do I
Animals
do? Yeah. What do I do? And then I realized I'm exhausted all the time. So I guess I must do something. So like you mentioned, I'm a foster home for Puyallup Animal Rescue. And at any given time, I have a herd of animals. I was a few minutes late logging on because I was trying to get everybody situated, and I would get the dog situated, and I have a puppy right now, and get them situated down at the dog room. And then as I was getting ready to log on, had the troop of kittens come running in and chewing on cords and stuff. And so, I always have pets coming in and out, and that's something that I do constantly. I've been doing it for about 3 years. So Puyallup Animal Rescue, and you can look up on Facebook and on Pet Finder, and unfortunately, we always have a ton of animals available: puppies, kittens, occasional pig, dogs, cats, all ages. Gosh, we've even had hedgehogs and sugar gliders, and who knows? We just take them as they come, I
kind of want a sugar glider. They're so cute.
So how do they find the Puyallup Pet Rescue? Or
it's Puyallup Animal Rescue. You can find us on Facebook, and if you Google, animal rescues, you're going to find Pet Finder.
Okay.
Pet Finder will lead you to anything in your area. And as much as I love my rescue, we are very small. We only operate out of foster homes.
Okay.
And really our primary goal is the same as everybody else. We just want pets to find their home. So if we don't have what you're looking for, somebody else will.
Yeah.
So, I plug us, but
adopt, don't shop.
Adopt, don't shop.
Yep.
Please spay and neuter your animals.
Yes.
That's my thing. That's everybody's thing, that does this. That's our goal, is to just spread the message. Adopt, don't shop. Stay out of the pet stores. Backyard breeding has got to end. We've had so many cases of animal hoarding because of, backyard breeders, and I have one of my dogs in particular who is a product of overbreeding, and he's a beautiful dog, but he's 106 pounds of just sheer fear because he has neurological problems, and he has hip dysplasia and a narrowed vertebrae. And this dog, he's 3 years old now, and the vet said, I'll be lucky if I get 5 or 6 years out of him. And it's just a product of overbreeding from a backyard breeder.
Yeah.
A couple of our animals over the years we've rescued from, or should I say, one in particular, we liberated from a house that was about 800 square feet and had 6 mastiffs in it.
Oh my gosh.
So 2 of
Brazilian
them,
mastiffs.
Yeah, big guys. 2 of them came home with us.
Oh my gosh. They're huge dogs.
Well, one went to my mom, and we got the baby, and we had baby for a while, but baby was the same way. She was definitely the end of a very long line of having been bred over and over again, and she had a lot of like physical problems. And
Tiara's mom got her mom.
Yeah.
So
my mom got the dog's mom. Yeah.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that. Because, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Enough of the Mongolese Congolese.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, this job is never ending. And I know the second well, thank you. Yeah. I know the second that my puppies and kittens get adopted, I will literally have more the following Tuesday. Yeah. Always do. Yeah. So then that at the tender, age of 41, I started my burlesque career. So
nice. So we're because I had it pop up on my calendar. We were going to go see you last night.
I had to pull out of that one. Yeah, just too many things. And actually, it's funny how fate works out. With the death of my best friend's mom and her. They had tentatively arranged her funeral on that day. Yeah. So it just would have worked out anyway. I'm just thankful that I had, some kind of foresight to pull out before I went and spent all the money on that particular costume for that particular routine. So
those
things work out as they should. No, it is not a hobby to get into, it's thinking you're going to make money, and this is going to be so much fun.
I put events together like that for bands, and and I know that I would think costuming as well as like musical gear, pretty pricey in both cases. Putting together a show,
the time it takes,
I mean, I put together the Rockabilly Ball for KSER up in Everett for a few years, and that was 6 months each time doing that. Putting that together.
I was raised in the music business. My mom was a manager and promoter. My brother was a promoter and I don't know how many bands. My first husband was in a band, and we used to do shows in our basement. And so I know how much time and money gets invested into just, trying to get them together, and very time consuming, and those pennies start racking up really quick for sound mixers and all the equiment and and we did it back in the 90s, where duct tape came into play a lot. You're duct taping stuff together. Gosh, even our stage was made out of ply boards and milk crates. So I know what's involved in getting shows going, but on the performer aspect of it, gosh, and I was getting out of a really bad marriage and needed something, and this opportunity kind of fell into my lap. Somebody asked me, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this?" And my first instinct was like, "Absolutely not. I'm 41 years old. I am not tiny. I've had 5 kids, and it shows."
That's a plus side for burlesque.
Honestly, I enjoy it way more when they're not a toothpick. Like, no offense to toothpick girls who do burlesque, but I am a fan of movement and shape and that
old school. I mean, even if you look at the ones back in the 40s and 50s.
Oh yeah, they were like size 12, 14s, easy and gorgeous as fuck.
When I started doing research and started watching videos and, started actually practicing like my shimmy, I'm like, hey, this is good for something. like, yeah, okay, I'm getting comfortable with this. And I did my first show, and not to take away from the other performers, but I just did a very different routine from the other girls. They were a lot of hip hop, and which cool, not my thing, but cool. And I did one of my routines was Amigo the Devil. It is a song called Hell in You, and so just very dark and moody, and I just felt it was so weird because I'm so tend to be quieter and a little bit of an introvert, and I when I got on the stage and actually started doing it, and I just felt so comfortable and at home, and I was like, wow, this is. And I felt amazing afterwards. And that was the whole goal of doing it anyway, after going through such hell with my husband, and then just that moment of liberation. And I encourage everybody, not just women, but men
there's
too.
Been some awesome boylesque.
I'm in
and I've actually started going to more shows since I started performing, because it's learning for me, but it's also just a sheer appreciation for the art and the storytelling and the booty shaking. And and the boylesque is beautiful.
Or maybe belly dancing or something like that.
Oh, and Waxy Moon,
belly dancing.
By the way.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen Waxy Moon? And I don't know what they're if his troupe or whatever they are, the two tiny girls, and he's fucking giant. Doing that, they do a burlesque.
Well, that was a while ago. The one that you're referencing, where Waxy Moon did single ladies in the cheerleader outfit.
Yeah, he's in a cheer. I mean, he's got to be taller than me.
Oh, probably.
And then he's got these two.
Gosh.
He's got these two little ones who are probably.
Well, one was Inga Anjanou back in the day. I don't know if it still is.
But yeah, they're like
she was
5'2".
5. Yeah, she's like 5'1".
And they're wearing like the beehive type of
50 style hair. Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
Like a little cheerleader outfit, and they do the whole routine from Single Ladies. Like back when when Rat City was still playing at Key Arena, they did the halftime show once, and that was how I got to meet some of them.
Belly dancing, on the subject of belly dancing. Now, burlesque, I sit there and just marvel at, and just totally enjoy. But belly dancing, I sit there and envy.
Right?
Fuck, and damn! How?
Like
how do you make your middle move like that? Like I can't make any part of my body move that confidently.
The isolation is what gets me. It's like, how
you got to do your core workout.
It's like and even I've tried to. That's on my list of like things I want to do. Maybe when I hit 45.
I'm going to be 41 in a couple of weeks. Maybe my 41-year-old, I have to start doing something.
Do it.
I know. I'm joined a choir.
I might show up for a show. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Hey, what do you think when you start talking about Letterkenny?
I guess.
What?
This is why I said we need to hang out again. We just talk.
Letterkenny?
Definitely. I remember that show, Letterkenny.
Oh yeah,
that one show we talked about that one time.
Yeah, exactly. So last week, real quick, was season 6, episode 2, Bush Party season, with our guest Mitch Cole, and basically it was really just kind of getting
setting up for the summer.
Yeah, setting up for the summer, getting all the different folks are from around town together. They got the Union College kids back in town, and Chess Puffer is coming up, thinking that while they were away that they've become now the toughest person in Letterkenny, and that had to be corrected, but still respect was given. And I think that's really what it was, and then kind of the first introduction of the Mennonites. So
right, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that one next week. But this week, we're getting into The City, season 6, episode 3. So our open was basically what I was playing there a moment ago, where the Hicks are all in the barn. Derry is serving, I'm guessing Caesars, could be Bloody Marys. I mean, Caesars and Bloody Marys, both basically what they say. Yeah, so I'm guessing it was Caesars. Then there's a discussion that starts about Derry's perfume or cologne or eau de toilette. And something about the softest thing that Derry has ever said, and he said no, it's about harsh metals against my skin and
gives me a rash.
I understand. Same.
And then Marie, Fred, and Anik bring in some crepes.
Thank you, ladies.
There's a whole discussion about the crepes. And
crepes versus crepes.
Crepes versus crepes. And then Derry finishes off with something about another gross name about if he eats so many crepes, it's going to give him a crep worm.
Crep worm, yeah.
And then Dan takes away his plate. And then we cut back out to the yard where they're still standing. And
wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud. Breakfast. Attaboy.
He got it.
You
he nailed
it.
breakfast. Good job, Derry. So then we cut to the produce stand. The Hicks are all sitting outside. Rold is calling all the Hicks. He's just going through the boys for some reason. Finally,
good.
Yeah. So Katie finally gets to Katie, and Katie takes Dan's phone. And we get,
call me first next time. Isn't he sober now?
Yeah, but
Slow down. Breathe, Roldy. Healing? Dealing.
Shocker.
Yeah, there's another D, and he's gonna kill him.
Okay, well, stop de-healing and come home.
He won't.
Why not?
Because he's a vigilante.
Fuck's sakes. Okay, we're coming.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that for a minute. Then after she says that they're going to come pick her up, all of the boys individually say, no, we're not. And then Katie says,
what's the problem, Wayne? You don't want to go to the SPCA and play with the dogs? What's the matter, Derry? You don't want to go to the food court in the mall and get a little bit of everything to create the perfect meal? And Dan, if you get off my dick, we'll play Big Buck Hunter HD 42-inch Wild at one of the Donnelly bars.
Yep.
Dan was very excited, zipped his lip.
Yep.
And then we cut to the apartment.
Don't you seriously want to go to the food court now?
Yeah, totally.
There's 2 things left in our food court right now. Three things?
Yeah, I think we got Sarku Japan and Taco Bell.
Okay, I want to go to the food court in like 1992. How about that?
Yes. When the food court at our mall was all the way through the mall. There was no food court back then.
So then we cut to the apartment in the big city where Stuart is getting into character as Robin Hood. Rold is telling Stuart that the Hicks are coming to take him home, and there's a yes, and Gay chastises Rold for not wanting to be a vigilante. And then Rold shows her the 3rd death threat note that they've gotten on the door this week. Gay and Stuart laugh at the grammar in the note and then write back and then hand the note back to Rold to stick on the door. And then Gay and Stuart head back to the room to have sex. So she's getting all that good dicking. Anyway, we cut to Modine's. Riley and Jonesy and Dax and Ron are talking about their ideal takedowns. And then at the bar, after they say Ariana Grande, Shorzy's there, and he says she looks like she's 8 years old, and then he's gonna put a call into the kindergarten or the preschool. That's what it was.
Yeah, gonna give your license plate to the preschool,
right? And so then they just keep chirping at him, all of them.
Just the weirdest chirping exchange ever. It was like, okay, that it was just a whole bunch of praise of Terry Fox.
Yeah.
Why are you guys getting offended?
Yeah. I mean,
Fuck you.
I imagine I kind of know who Terry Fox is now. I'm guessing a Canadian who ran across Canada
on one leg.
On one leg for
on one leg. Like, impressive, but it's like,
okay, Forrest
why
Gump
the fuck
did that
used?
already. So, anyway, then we cut to the SPCA, and all the hicks are out back playing with the pups.
High
and,
fives.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of complaining about having to go into the city because of the drivers and shit like that. Derry's ready to get going to the food court, and
did you happen to catch that he said sushis?
Yes. Then Wayne says it's always hard to say goodbye to the puppies, and Katie says that's the softest thing you ever said. Derry says no. It's that you said that no one's ever given you a compliment on your eyelash. You're fucking paraphrasing and you know it. So that goes on for a little bit and then they head out. We're back to the
no, but he was truly sad about it.
He was, yes.
He loves that emotion.
Wayne loves him some pups. So
I mean, when we started prepping for this episode and we watched that, I looked over at Dean and I'm like, "Do you want to go play with the puppies?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Actually, when Dean and I were talking about which episode I was going to be on, and I said, "Well, which one should I go to?" He's like, "Puppies." Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah, okay, we'll do the city.
There we go. So Roll comes up and knocks on the curtain to the door to the bedroom, and shows Gay this new note, and
Baldy.
Look.
This is so agitating.
I know. I'm frightened.
I'm referring to the spelling and the grammar rolled. Gives me the coldest pricklies.
What are those wordsmiths assembled for us this segment? How asinine.
They can kiss my asinine.
Oh, that ass is mine.
damn right. And in this scene, Stuart is tied up on the bed again.
Yeah, arms and legs
Like
tied up, but still wearing his boots and underwear. I'm really interested in this.
Maybe she's going to use a knife to peel some stuff off.
It might be, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
considering
no
what she
shoes in
holds
the
up
bed.
after.
But after Gay gives a note, completes a note back to the dealers, and gives it to Roll to stick on the door. Then she walks back into the bedroom with a bag of water with a fish in it.
The look on Stuart's face.
Right?
Oh my gosh. That was so
thing.
great.
Like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, am I remembering my safe word? What's going on?
I was getting ready to say the same thing. What's the safe word?
Yes. Stuart looked very intrigued yet very scared. So then we cut to the mall parking lot where all the hicks are laying in the back of the truck. And
after they get some good fucking.
Yep, exactly. So Derry needs to go drop one, and Squirrely Dan is just so disgusted at the idea that Derry's willing to go and sit down in a public restroom. Wayne says he agrees. The only reason he goes in is to rock a piss, but nothing else, because he gets the giggles.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Does any woman who ever has to pee in a public place must be nice.
You get those shiwis, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so they start talking.
Piss and apparatus.
Right.
I worked it into a conversation finally. Piss and apparatus.
So they talk about and then they get into the thought of bathroom courtesy and how you need to give a slight clearing of the throat so that that they'll be ready for the acoustics that are about to happen. And
whereas women go completely silent and try to wait until you're done and you leave. Like, I swear to God, this is a thing that every woman I know does.
See, and I was kind of surprised that Katie didn't chip in.
Well, she did. She was like, it must be nice, because
That's
for a
all
woman,
she
you
said.
don't get the, but for a woman, you don't get the chance to not sit. Like,
No, I
you are
understand.
going to sit.
It's so weird. Like, like it's so offensive to make the sound of urination.
Right?
Well, that we don't care about.
Yeah.
Well, no, it depending on the environment. Sometimes it's just like, why am I peeing so loud? Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Why am I peeing so loud?
Loud, proud peeing.
Just sometimes it's like, God, I'm freaking Snoqualmie Falls here.
Yep. The acoustics in this room.
I know how to rock a piss.
Seriously, you start feeling vibrations.
Yeah. And then
like, does everybody else feel this?
So then Dan says, I can't remember exactly what he says, something about how, the high jeans are the only jeans that never go out of style. And they said that's the softest thing he's ever said, and says, nope. And then Dan comes to it. He says that the second year his perennials didn't come in, and he was upset about it. And he said, "I'm so upset about my perennials." And Katie says,
I get it.
Then she heads off with Derry to go back into the mall. We're back at the apartment. There's a new note on the door. Rold goes to open it, and the Big City Slams are there, and they say that they can help with the dealer issue. Rold tells them that they got the Hicks coming into town, and they said it doesn't matter, that these dealers roll deep, and they'll never leave until they leave. And in the background you hear Gay and Stuart fucking.
That's some good fucking.
That's some good fucking.
Good fucking.
She ain't gonna leave that.
So you think she's gonna leave that? Yeah. Then we cut back to Modine's. Riley and Jonesy and Dex and Ron are talking about their takedown tallies, and Dex and Ron just keep going off about how the different groups of people that they have had
from their titty tally.
Places. Right. Riley and Jonesy start realizing that maybe they're just a little bit outmatched, and then Ron is just keep going on, and he's talking
Boys, I think that's a dog.
Yeah, Congolese. I think that's a dog.
Festive.
Yeah. Then he gets really excited and he goes,
I want a fucking Islamic Spartan! This is Islamic Sparta!
So yeah, you can tell Dax and Ron are in it to win it.
Oh yeah.
So
The look that Riley and Jonesy exchange, and they're just like ashamed and embarrassed that like they're not keeping up. They're just gonna hang our heads in shame.
It's gonna come back to bite them literally later.
Yeah, we'll see about that soon.
Luckily, they're in Canada, so they got that help.
That's right.
Universal health care,
right.
and they're good. Just might take them a little bit to get in. Hope nothing falls off.
Seriously. So we cut back to the club, and this is it's all music.
Hold on, Ron's shaking his beer.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Oh yeah. That
Forgot
what's that? Oh, what did I forget?
the Islamic.
I just played that. You didn't hear it? How much have you had to smoke, babe? I love you.
Hi. Hi,
Yeah,
everybody.
Ron's shaking his beer to climax.
Yeah,
So it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, when fucking and then Riley's going over to like try to keep him from then it just starts going everywhere. He basically orgasms with his beer.
Yes.
Sure, that's never happened to him before.
I love how Ron just gets fucking
Right? It's not hot or anything.
yeah, seriously. We come back to the club. It's all music montage. We see all the skids up top doing their deals. The dealers walk in, they see them, they flip out their knives, and at that time the Hicks all walk in. And so it's eyeballing all around. And as they start to take a step, all the girls in the club take off a shoe and start beating the shit out of the dealers and their bodyguard.
Take notes, ladies.
Yeah, seriously.
Those shoes.
So yeah. And
this is why I go to clubs where we predominantly wear like Doc Martens.
Oh, some of those heels though.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, if you could stab somebody with a
Single white female.
Yeah, seriously. So we go back. So we cut off to another scene at the back of the club. The Hicks and the Skids are all sitting at a table, and they agree that it was a very serious situation, and that bringing weapons to a street fight is losing $5 million to the city is bad.
I mean, if it was the U.S., it would have been guns, but whatever.
Yeah, like just
true.
Knives is normal,
Right? Fuck, I hate this country.
So Rold is ready to go home now. Stuart doesn't want to, and then Gay realizes she's got to convince Stuart and comes at him with
To keep him safe.
Yeah.
Stuart?
Okay. revolt.
Why do you rebel?
I hate my parents.
And?
I hate the world.
And?
I hate myself.
Get this guy fucking poppers.
Sweetest.
So yeah,
Sweetest.
right.
We will rebel again.
We will, yeah. So basically saying it'll happen again. We just got to separate for now. And then Gay pops up her hood and starts walking back. She gets halfway and turns around and looks, and Stuart's not looking. So she turns back around, and just at that point, Stuart turns around and looks longingly, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler Johnston, that look that he gives, I mean, he's such an amazing actor.
Oh yeah.
It's like that look, it's like, oh, I've felt that, before, saying goodbye, like when my best friend moved away, it's like that pain. It's like, well done. Good job.
He is so expressive.
He is.
I mean, it's
his eyes are just so big, and just like so much emotion can come through them. That's amazing to me.
On the same note, and kind of back up a little bit to the club, when Katie and Gay lock eyes, and they just that silent, it's time.
Yep.
Just that was great.
Yeah,
like,
the girls
done,
the girls knew that it was time to situate themselves. So basically saying that this is gone as far as it needs to go for now, and let's regroup.
You have, I mean, this show is brilliant, and obviously it's my favorite. But you have little glimpses like that where it's just like, the show is funny, but there you have these little spots like that, which is like, that was just some damn good acting. Well done.
Yeah, even the little side, get this guy a fucking puppers,
right?
Yeah. those little things, it kind of,
it's like real life,
right?
You don't see that in TV shows a lot. You don't see talking under my breath, God, what a fucking, like that doesn't happen in TV shows. But God damn, that happens in real life.
Yeah,
every day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of how silly this show can be, I mean, they do a good job of when it gets to the dramatic parts like that, even though that dramatic, the "fuck you" statement, I hate my parents, I hate the world, I hate myself. It's, even though that whole thought is silly in real life, I mean, what they're dealing with it as a dramatic moment. Yeah. So they do a great job of that. And, huge applause to, Kiso and Tierney and the other writers of the show that do such a great job with, really, keeping it real. And for a comedy, I think they do a great job of that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and just bringing home that connection of the small town. I grew up out in, Fall City, Washington, and raised my older kids out in Fall City, and we definitely had that small town connection. Well, actually, over the weekend, one of my friends had his coat stolen from one of the local bars, and his wallet was in the coat, and so he posted on Facebook, and they had it all on video. And the real kicker was, I have all your parents' phone numbers. These people are like 40. It's like, I love that. So, but anyway, just, that small town that, we all know each other. And we,
True. And
same situation, even though like this group isn't necessarily connected to that group friend-wise, if they're in trouble, they're going to go after it. And I love that about the Skids and the Hicks. That they came to the rescue.
Right.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I hate that it's only Katie that has to, a friend, when it's the Skids, a friend needs help, you help them. So,
well, it's not always Katie who's saying that, but yeah, in this case, she was like, come on. Right. They asked for help. We're doing it.
Right. And this is the first time that Roald has ever asked.
Yes, it is the first time Roald ever did.
He loves his, Roald loves his friend. He wants to be back home. I think he knows he's safe with Wayne and the other Hicks there, even though they don't get along per se, but he knows that Wayne and those guys are not going to come fuck with them unless they do something that basically fucks with Letterkenny.
Yeah.
So,
that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's, it's really a show about family. right? I mean,
and relationships,
just, right?
Yeah.
So where it's their, Letterkenny is a community. It's really their family. So whether it's Hicks, Skids, Christians, hockey players, they're all part of the family. You don't always like all of your family, but that's what it is. So anyway, so let's continue on other thoughts, theories, whatever you have. Not be so melancholy.
I want to know why Katie is such a bitch to Dan in this episode.
She's being a bit of a cow.
She's being a total cow. Like right off the bat. They always have that kind of fun, friendly banter, but right off the bat, when he tries to start it, she's like, we're not doing that.
And this started last episode with he tried to bring up Professor Tricia, and she's like, Yeah.
Okay. To be fair.
Right?
To be fair. Come on. It's just like all the time. Well, Professor Trish's
right. That absolutely.
But this episode he did not once go Professor Trish.
No. It literally started out with him.
What's that?
She probably would have stabbed him.
Probably.
If he would have.
It started out with banter that they've had since season 1, and she just shut him off. Like, we're not doing that.
Like, really weird.
What? And then
get
the whole
off
thing.
my dick, Dan.
Come on. If I heard someone say
about you, let's not.
If I had heard someone say crepe rape or crepe date crepe, whatever, I would have heard date rape. I just like Dan, and I would have been just like Dan. So why did she oh, come on, da da da? No, honey. No, it was a bad joke. Just get over it.
Get off my dick, Dan.
Well, she should get off Dan's dick. Thank you.
Maybe she needs to get on Dan's dick.
Visualize.
Oh, Miss
Oh, now you're thinking.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck. Yes. Oh, we need recordings of that. What else do we have?
There was a part when, I think it was the Robin Hood scene where Stuart pulls back to threaten to punch Roald.
Yeah.
And that seemed a lot more aggressive than we've ever seen, but it seems like Stuart has gotten more and more aggressive as the show has gone on toward Roald. And so I was curious about that too.
I mean, he does that a lot with.
He does
Roald.
kind of
it's usually it's a
starts,
it's an elbow
but not,
shove.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this was a full on fist right in his face.
Yeah, but if you look at the talent show, Letterkenny talent show, he full on elbows rolled right in the sternum. I think he just he just wants to put Roald in his place.
If you want to go real deep on this one, I can.
Okay.
So, curious what the time frame is in regards to Stuart getting clean.
Yeah.
How long has it been? Because if he's still early, which I'm assuming is he's still, speaking from experience, and I did mention this at the beginning, I am in recovery and I'm very active in my recovery community. I'm a member of AA and NA. Been 8 years, 4 months, and 28 days.
Good for you.
So if Stuart is still early in his sobriety,
I would say within 6 months,
easily within a few months. Yeah.
He's still working through so much physical issues, especially considering he's coming off of meth.
Yeah.
The physical aspects of it would explain a lot of his aggression. Same thing with the emotional. What age range? We're talking mid-20s,
something like that. Yeah.
Okay, well, it took him, 20-something years to get that fucked up. Well, it's going to take him, that long at least to get unfucked. Yeah. So we're talking 6 months into sobriety. So no wonder he's a little aggressive. There's my theory on that one.
Yeah. Well, then I'm curious about, was Roald addicted to the same level, or was he just like a dabbler and it's not bothering him so much that he's clean now, but we don't see any of those after effects really?
Yeah, it seems like he was just a dabbler because Roald didn't go anywhere, Gay didn't go anywhere,
right?
Nobody else went anywhere. And speaking of, where are Darian and
Connor and Darian?
Connor and Darian through this whole thing?
I think they're back home keeping the meth business alive
and waiting for Stuart to come home. Hopefully.
Quite possibly. Yeah.
I mean, they're doing drugs in the cities. I mean, selling drugs in the city. Why not keep selling drugs back in Letterkenny, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that apartment alone, they got a nice apartment. They gotta
with no doors.
Finance that thing somehow.
And Connor and Darian would be fine in the basement.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would just be
they don't even know they're in a basement. They think they're in the city.
Maybe they're in the back of the club.
Stuart in that damn hat. It's like
the Robin Hood hat.
So did he actually go out and like, I need a Robin Hood hat. I'm a vigilante.
Yeah.
Or did he order it on Amazon going, this is something I need, to continue on with this. That whole thought process cracked me up. Like, did he come across that in Value Village, or he just like actually went out with the intent of purchasing a Robin Hood hat? Either way,
whenever Stuart goes in for something, he's like, he is always, I'm so involved.
And he loves this idea of being a vigilante, but still being like kind of like this bad guy who everybody kind of respects. Like, that's what he wants.
He's like the Dexter of drugs.
Yeah, a little bit. Sure.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, yeah, they're supposed to be dangerous. They're drugs.
They're drugs.
It's supposed to be safe. No. Yes, sir.
What else we got? Any other thoughts?
Any thoughts about Betty Ann and Mary Ann hanging out with Shorzy again?
I don't care. I just like looking at them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I feel like they're way better than Shorzy, but yet they're hanging out with him at the bar.
There's no doubt about that. I mean,
are they back together? Are they a throuple now? Are they just getting a beer?
I mean, apparently Shorzy's got excellent prowess in bed.
Right.
So that's his only plus in the entire that, and he's a good hockey player. Or, well, I don't know.
He's got that. Yeah.
So he's a good hockey player and he's good in bed. I mean, apparently that's enough for some folks.
Yeah.
Especially if you're also a hockey player.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're not wanting anything else, then what's the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what if he's also banging the moms?
Right.
Yeah.
And
whatever, he's good at what he does.
As long as everybody's okay with it and everybody is on the same page. Like that was always the thing. Like there was nothing wrong with him sleeping with both Betty Ann and Mary Ann, but they didn't know about it. And that's what kind of.
So now they're there together.
Now they're there together, which is why I was like,
I don't think. Sorry, didn't interrupt.
Okay.
I don't think Shorzy was trying to hide anything.
Nope.
So I will say this for the guy. He's very transparent.
Doing his flex and holding up the glass.
Yeah, he's unapologetic. He is his authentic self.
And I love how Kiso can make a character that we never see the front of him and still make him so like exactly what we'd expect. Like just perfect.
And unlikable.
And very unlikable.
Such a great butt.
Make it go.
And I'm not even a butt person, and I'm just going,
I am.
That is a beautiful ass. That is a beautiful
such
ass.
a butt person. It's not even funny.
Not on men. On women, I absolutely like.
Both. If they're wearing good jeans. That's the thing. Most men wear jeans that don't flatter.
That's true. That is very true. Men need to start wearing, the bombshell skinny jeans from Torrid. Yeah, that's what they need to start wearing.
Hard no.
But they just accentuate the butt so well.
True.
Yeah, I'm not getting. There's nothing skinny about me that I could put on jeans like that. So.
He's got nice legs and a really nice butt, though. So I'm pretty sure he would rock it pretty well.
You'd rock the bombshell skinny jeans.
Yeah. I would just have to flex to make them come off.
Yep. Think thin. I do every time I put them on. Think thin.
Anything, Liz? You got anything else for thoughts, theories, observations, etc.?
Not about the show. I forgot to mention something early on, but
well, if there's something else about yourself, we will definitely cover that at the end.
Okay. Yeah, that's about the show.
Okay.
There's something else at the end. Yeah.
Creps and revelations.
Yeah, I've gone through all my notes.
That was. I loved how Derry did that.
Right, and he even said it just creps and revelations. Love it.
All right, so are we ready for a little bit of the a little bit of the yeah.
I love it.
Fuck Viperta. And for those playing in the home audience, this is our version of Fuck, Marry, Kill. We don't want to kill anybody, but we will definitely scrap with them. And we're not really getting getting married, obviously, in the show. So we're instead of
you want sex, you want a friend, you want an enemy.
Right, exactly. So that's really what the show's about. So we'll start off with Wayne.
Well, I cannot resist a cute man holding a cute puppy.
So is that a fuck?
That's a fuck.
Oh, okay.
And also because he's not friends with Stuart, but he was like, "You're right. Friend asked for help. Got to do it."
Yep.
And he went, and he was ready. He was unbuttoning his sleeve. He was looking, getting ready, like you could see it in his eyes. And then the girls took over, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well."
And I will say one thing. This because it kind of goes back to thoughts theories. Is I like that how that ended not with Wayne having the fight because of how it ended up in season 8. So
right.
For those of you who don't know, on our Facebook, we're back to allowing any season 8 talk or
potential spoilers.
Yeah,
but on our show, we'll still keep it to the end if there is anything that our guests want to talk about.
Exactly. So, Liz, what do you got for Mr. Wayne?
Oh, I'm with Tiara. Yeah,
doing it and doing it and doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Yeah, totally different generations here. He went for like the soft rock. I went for like the R&B. Yeah.
Yeah, I went for Huey Lewis and the News.
Do me, baby.
Okay, Derry.
He's so. I find it adorable that Derry is wearing an eau de toilette and paying attention to all the little things about that, which obviously has to do with the girlfriend,
right? And because it's before, eau de toilette, I'd have to think Annette got it for him.
That's exactly what I was thinking, was that Annette got it for him. Because before this, it was always Banana Boat sunscreen, right?
Yep.
So, or he smelled like the cows. She probably didn't want him smelling like the cows. I get it. So I find that really cute. And I would like to reward him for saying breakfast.
He was a very good boy.
He was
a boy.
Had a boy.
So are we fucking Derry?
Yeah, I think so.
I think this is going to be the first time you've ever fucked Derry.
I think this is the first.
So. There was nothing that he did that made me go, oh. So
not even the crep worm?
Not even the crep worm.
And you guys have, that connection of the harsh metals.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So,
I could talk to him
harsh
about
metals are off the table.
Give me a rash.
I wouldn't call you super soft.
Oh,
hey now.
Liz? Actually, I had the same thought. One of my things is a good smelling man.
Yeah.
There's very few things that are better.
Yeah.
And instant, like, you're not pretty, but oh my.
I sure do like how you smell.
Like
Working the pheromones.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm yeah. Yeah.
Miss Katie's. I think I know where this might go. I have a feeling. I've got a feeling.
She's being a bit of a cow.
She was being a bit of a cow, but she also was one that convinced everyone to go and help Stuart. Like, I'm going to say Ferda in this, but okay. I was definitely annoyed by her attitude toward Dan.
Her bovinishness?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say fight because I wouldn't go that far. And Dan was like, yeah, no. Like, if Dan was offended, I would have backed him up.
Yeah.
Basically. So I say friend and like, why are you being such a dick to him? Like, come on, just get over it.
Yeah.
So Ferda.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to have to say Ferda too, but I'm sitting on the other end of the couch.
I get it.
I'll come out Ferda so much as I'll come out and help you if you need help, but
Stuart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Squirrely Dan.
I'm gonna, most times I'm gonna have to go with fuck Squirrely Dan, because I empathize,
about your perennials.
Yeah. I get it. I really do.
I think in this episode I'm strict Ferda because it's really obvious that he's trying to be respectful of Katie's wishes, and I don't like the way that Katie went about it, but also it's kind of like that. Well, what kind of relationship are you okay with her treating you like shit like that?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I think the other thing is
I have trouble with my friends when their friends make times hard for them. So
yeah. Well, the thing is that I can say is that Dan is the only one saying things back to her about what she's saying.
And usually the only person who calls her on her shit.
Yeah. And,
which is why they'll probably end up together.
Right.
That
Could
would be nice.
if he can't get Lavina dick.
I mean, I do kind of hope that's like the love of his life because he's had a thing for her for so long.
But I do like the one about the baseball discussion.
That has not occurred yet because this is season 6.
Well, I mean, the baseball discussion happened back. We don't know her name in this episode.
True.
So, all right, Marie Fred.
What did Marie Fred do in this one?
She made crepes and she looked cute.
She did.
I think she even got a gun cock.
She did get a gun cock for the craps. The craps. The craps.
She came up with some cute names, like Anik did. But that was all we saw, man.
Yeah,
was
that
just
was
that.
so Ferda.
It's so hard. Yeah, it's so hard to look at her, knowing it is.
Nothing that you're talking about has happened yet.
No.
But this is your one. This is your one time here.
This is your one chance.
Yep, and she's so adorable. She is truly just adorable, and she's a smart ass. And and she can keep up with everybody. You know, and she's quick witted, and So I'm sorry, I gotta fuck her.
No sorry needed.
Mm-hmm.
No sorry needed. Up until future episodes, I would have been on that.
We don't know what happens then,
right?
What about?
She's just adorable.
Oh, she is. She's absolutely.
And like not a big fan of blondes, but
same.
Well, but what I'll say about her is, and she really seems like a woman, a grown woman.
Yes.
She's not like I've got to do my hair and all this stuff. Like the Bonnie McMurray is always doing something and trying to doll up. Same with Katie. She's trying to in the Big City Slams where it's just all kind of surface.
Even Tanis with the fingernails and
all that surface stuff. She's not like that.
She's low maintenance.
She's like she's like the 20 minutes out the door kind of chick.
Yeah. I mean, she may not be that, but she doesn't draw attention to it. I'll say that for sure.
Unlike the next one.
Yeah, Anik.
Right. So for this episode only, I'm going to go Ferda because again, crepes, and that's about it.
Yep.
I've never liked her. Never have.
I'm not. I'm not a fan.
She's pretty,
and that's it.
Yeah. Well, she's a pretty girl.
Like, she doesn't fit. She never fits, and
she doesn't try to fit.
I mean, and I'm sure we've all seen or have had friends where and I hate this phrase, but I'm going to say it anyway, where they're dating somebody out of their league, and you're going, "What the fuck is going on there?"
Well, we know what's going on there is that Derry and Wayne have no give out.
Right. They have unlimited battery.
They can throw all the hip.
What's going on here that's beneficial to either party other than she's hot and I mean, there's like no.
He's apparently good at sex.
So yeah, that's
like what do they have in common?
Sex.
I mean, opposites attract. Blah blah blah. But
what do we know about her besides Instagram model?
Yeah, not much.
And Quebecois, whatever. I'll never do it. Sorry.
Like, is she gonna get out and pick stones?
Right. Right. She doesn't seem like the kind of person that would help with
she made Caesars.
No, Derry made the Caesars. Oh, in the last episode.
She made crepes this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just never liked her. I mean, it was Murray Fred. She fit.
There's more story to Murray Fred.
And even Rosie, who didn't really fit, was still a more likable character and had more personality.
And she knows how to answer properly.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
I would like to see the French respond in French with.
That'd be so funny.
Do we have anybody out there who speaks French and wants to be on our show?
Valerie.
Valerie, that's right. Valerie, you need to do better next time.
I think I did. I think we did the first time we interviewed, but I think I did.
I slept since then. I don't remember.
It's been a day or 360.
I mean, this last year of doing this podcast feels like we've been doing it forever when it's only been a year. So I don't know.
All right. So
in a good way.
Are you going to fight?
I'm going to fight her and I hope she'll go away.
You're going to fight her. See now, I'm hoping for extra with that. So
fight turning into
the fight turning. Oh, hey now. All right.
Oh my God.
All right, Riley and Jonesy.
I almost felt sorry for him.
Yeah, a little bit.
You want to help them get up, get their level up?
You know, we were joking about this before we started recording that Dean would be a Scottish Texan. I would be a Creole Canadian. What would you be?
I'm a Scott Norwegian.
Oh,
there you go.
So we all could land on there somewhere for that.
There you go.
But
Just a drunk fish.
I'm still personally going to say Ferda because I know what happens and I can't.
Load up on them prophylactics and antibiotics.
Wear a fucking raincoat every
Yeah.
time.
Are you a Ferda too? Nope.
You know what?
Do it.
I think in this episode, I'm gonna go for a little London Bridge.
All right,
Yeah,
there we go.
do it.
A little spit roasting.
I mean,
Ferda fuck.
if
What
I
about-
don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Now, if they happen to be more bi than gay, Dax and Ron.
I'm pretty sure Dax and Ron would not turn down. Like, I feel like they would be like, all right.
If it
yeah.
added to their tally.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're fucking Dax and Ron? They are pretty.
They really are.
And they're smarter than Riley and
They
Jonesy.
really are. Yeah, that definitely raised it for me. And from future episodes, we know that they are a lot safer with things. At least they have the experience and they're better at it now.
They've learned.
They've learned. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make sure that I bring the condoms, but sure.
They would, I think they would definitely respect.
I'm sure that they would. Yeah.
Liz?
I'm absolutely gonna fuck them. For one, they're gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
And
They're so funny.
it seems like with our boys that they're just in for their counts, whereas
It's kind of
Ron and Dax.
yeah, Ron
and Dax. Thank you. Ron and Dax are in it more for the actual act.
Yeah.
You know,
Enjoy sex way more.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well,
and so I think it would actually be a pleasurable versus
versus a
let's
pump and
just
dump.
get our numbers up.
Yeah. Well, and I think
or whatever up.
Also because I think we have heard that that Dax and Ron have switched over.
Yeah, that's
from
what
time
I was
to time.
saying.
So it's really not fair. It's really not fair to Riley and Jonesy, who are strictly straight. They do not sleep pole to hole,
and they do not sleep with each other. Whereas,
yeah, exactly. So
I often wondered what was going on when they were dating Katie.
Yeah,
one at the top, one at the bottom,
probably. Or
I mean, did they take turns, or was this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would just see.
Probably
Here's
do
how
a
I
whole
see it.
episode on that.
Riley's down here, Jonesy's up here, and they're like, "High five, bro."
Yeah, I can see that.
That would be so annoying. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, boys.
I know.
They're chirping at each other the whole time.
Don't talk.
Oh
I mean, we know that they've got to be good at sex because Katie wouldn't have put up with it
Right.
for as long as she did.
Right.
So
Well, they were also kind of
7 seconds. Snipe. You're a snipe.
Sniper.
They were also kind of her what's a good way to put it? They weren't quite her subs, but like she was able to order them around and they would do the things that she would say and that sort of thing. So like they kind of waited on her hand and foot, and that was probably a big part of the appeal as well.
Yeah.
So.
And for her, it was really just a phase.
Yeah.
I think. Overall.
Yeah.
Sturt.
Yeah.
He's still, I mean, like you were talking about, he's still recovering. He needs friends.
Yeah.
And he's got friends, and that's what he needs more than anything.
Yeah,
I
agree.
And I won't be 13 stepping, so yeah.
Is that the 13th step?
Yeah.
What's the
so
13th?
when somebody who has significant time in recovery, like closes in on somebody within their first year, because you're not supposed to enter into any kind of relationships or make any major decisions like buy a house, start a business within your first year of recovery. So that's what 13 stepping in.
Do you think that Gay is in recovery as well? Or has been? Because she's very adamant about not taking the drugs that she makes.
I think she's got different motivations.
Well, I think given her family and the choices that they made in sending her to Letterkenny, you know, they have probably put her through some type of treatment, whether it be for chemical or depression or, you know, I can imagine she's actually been in numerous facilities and institutions, you know, just
her
because
mother
they have money.
Her mother is a psychiatrist,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. So you know the child has probably been through God knows how many programs, you know, from the time she was like 2, you know.
She's read all of her mom's books, all that stuff,
Yeah, and she's so smart.
Like
she is so smart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's the female version of the kid in sex education. If you've seen that show on Netflix, which is really good. It's
Gillian
funny.
Anderson.
Well, I mean, you have to take into account that Gay is, you know, intelligent enough to just shut down Tanis.
Oh yeah,
that skill.
Yeah,
I still want to go
impressive.
back in time and be in
that
between
was hot.
That was.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, where were we?
Roldy.
Sorry.
Roldy.
I love Rold. I always love Rold.
So something in this episode it cracked me up so much that it encompasses Roldy in my mind. Like, he's so afraid of the drug dealers, but yet he doesn't stop being very open about selling the drugs. Green stuff, like holding it up high and like pointing to it. And hey, you want some green stuff?
I've got drugs. You
like,
want drugs?
Drugs. But he's afraid of these other drug dealers because he's afraid they're going to like kill him. But yet somehow that does not translate to maybe I shouldn't be so open about this in front of the drug dealer.
True. Yeah.
So I'm going to say Ferda for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
But also because Rold just wants to go home but not by himself because he loves Stuart so much.
Yes.
And I think that's just, he needs a friend to back him up when he's standing up to Stuart.
True. Liz?
Well, the lap dance is always better when the skid is crying. So.
Oh, it was beautiful.
So only if he's crying.
He's always crying.
There you go. So I've gotta fuck Roldy.
You're gonna fuck Roldy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't blame you.
Somebody's got to.
I mean,
I needs it.
Because the next one, I know I definitely would fuck Gay.
Yeah. Even in this episode, which usually like when she's doing her nefarious stuff, I'm like, whatever. But she was really like, it's kind of sexy watching her kind of boss Stuart around.
Yeah.
It was really sexy when she was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to break up with this guy, but it's obvious like she really cares about it.
Oh yeah, and I think she's definitely his dom.
Oh
yeah. Yeah,
and he's learning, mommy. But she's definitely a dom personality.
Because I think that
also the goldfish. What the fuck do you do with the goldfish? I really want to know. Please tell me.
You're gonna get a video in your email.
I don't want a video. I'm okay with descriptions.
But yeah, I think Stuart clings to that because he's always having to be
the one
the one in charge, the boss.
Kind of like me.
Yeah, so
I don't want to be in charge once I'm home.
so yeah, I think that's part of why that is so successful, and he's actually got someone who he really jives with. Mm-hmm. So I know, I understand that. So we're fucking Gay.
As long as she is bringing the goldfish as a present.
I'm fucking Gay because it's potentially the last time I'll have the chance.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't the last time, I would definitely say Ferda because I feel like she needs a friend when she has to break up with someone that she's obviously falling in love with. Mm-hmm. So I say fuck because we don't know. This might be the last time we see her.
You could have a Ferda that goes to a fuck.
I would love to have a Ferda that goes to a fuck. That's pretty much how my MO is anyway.
Marianne, I'm going to put them together. Marianne and Betty Ann.
And I say put them together because in this episode they are together with Shorzy, so it's almost the three of them.
True.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's the inverse of Katie and Riley and Jonesy.
Yeah.
It's true.
Anyway, Mary and Betty Ann.
Hard one.
Does that mean you'd have to have Shorzy at the same time?
Which is why I'm thinking about it.
It'd be fun.
I mean,
it would be fun.
I have
Shorzy,
honestly
you shut up.
I have honestly never slept with somebody.
But it'd be fun.
I have never slept with somebody just for the fun of it. Like, I'm not a one night stander.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to imagine having sex with someone that I really have no respect for.
Yeah.
And that would be Shorzy. Betty and Marianne, if they're not with him, I would probably be down for it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm going to say friend.
Okay.
Ferda.
So Ferda.
I put way too much thought in this. You don't have to. It's okay. My demi brain comes out some different ways.
Well, I'm actually right there with you because, like, man, yeah, Shorzy, yeah, he just sucks so bad.
So with,
he's such a dick.
But with Marianne and Betty Ann, where are you at on them?
Oh man,
just them two.
Absolutely with those two.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got to.
So
if Shorzy's going to be in the deal, I'd have to give it a lot of thought.
Right.
So yeah, Shorzy's the
if
next
we're going
one.
just for the fun of it, then I'm down. Like,
I mean,
okay.
That's the only reason I could see is for the fun of it.
That would be the only. I mean, I'd laugh because I totally appreciate his awfulness because it's funnier than shit. But
Damn it, Liz, you killed my Siamese fighting fish, squirting all over the.
Oh, actually, just the potential of ending up, being the target of his, chirps. That's worth it, actually. All right.
So you're down for a fuck on Shorzy.
Yeah.
T.
Ooh, that even sounds dirty. That makes me feel bad. Like, that hurts my soul. Down for a fuck on Shorzy. Ew. The look on your face.
I'm trying to think of like how I can't.
Are you gonna fight him or Ferda then?
I don't. None of them. Like this is.
Like, can I fight him
really hard.
So you're gonna fight him. Then.
I just want to walk away and like ignore him. So yeah, I guess fight.
All right.
Fight him, man.
And the last ones I had that had a speaking role were the Big City Slams. Here's the thing with them. They're cute. They fucking fight against the bad guys.
Yeah, Ferda. Because they all stood up against the drug dealers because they wanted the safe drugs.
Right. So you're Ferda on them?
Yeah.
All right.
Safe drugs. I actually, just for them going, that good fucking.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
fucking.
Yeah. And they're definitely not my type, but just for that little part right there, I'm like, yeah. That good fucking.
So you're for the good fucking on the Big City Slams.
I'm here for the good fucking on the Big City Slams.
All right. So that's a palate cleanser for what happened with Shorzy. So
Yeah.
I think that's everybody. Did I miss anyone?
I think that's. Yeah.
I think that's everybody.
Now, I did have one more thing before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
So it is a theory, but I wanted to save it for the end. Exactly. That was the exact thing. So in this episode, there were twice we heard a sound like that.
Yeah.
Which is the sound of the two bullies in Letterkenny. And it was done by Stewart and Rold. So I'm curious if the bullies were Stewart and Rold, which doesn't make sense, or if it's just their voices.
Yeah, my guess is it's just a voice.
Because we don't have any names for them.
Is there anything on IMDb?
That's a good question.
Because there wasn't.
It just hit US, so IMDb might have updated.
But yeah, I didn't see anything on IMDb when I first looked back when I had to go to Canada to watch it. So are you doing your Google foo?
Mm-hmm. You guys want to wrap up on doing this?
So so next week will be episode 4, the Dick Slip Out, with our good buddy Renee Encarnacion. And let's see, we will have new music then. I'm not exactly sure because I got a whole bunch of new music in, so I'll be putting that in. Again, don't forget we have our cosplay contest, howareyouNowPod /cosplay. And if you have music that you would like to send in to us, send it in to hosts@howareyouNowPod.com. And hopefully maybe now Tiara has something.
Yeah, the IMDb literally just shows Nathan Dales, Jared Cuso, K. Trevor Wilson, and Candace McClure, who was Miss Trish.
Miss Trisha, yeah.
So that's all it's showing right now. There's no...
Okay. Well,
yet.
Maybe if we get to... we didn't know about Letterkenny when we interviewed
Very true.
Tyler. So maybe...
But the next person we interview...
I don't know if she'll know anything.
Well, the one after that, then.
We'll see.
One of the two that you have set up.
We'll see. Hopefully. So Liz, you had something else you wanted to add on?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So my current litter of kittens. They are the Letterkennies.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. I have Miss Katie's and Tanis with her big Tanis energy. And oh my gosh, she fits that name. And I have Riley and Jonesy.
Nice.
So, and a couple puppies ago, I had Derry.
Nice.
So, and actually, if you do look hashtag up on Instagram for Letterkennies, it'll lead you to my Instagram most likely for all my animals for the 4-pack of Puyallup. so yeah, my Letterkennies.
I love it.
Awesome.
You know what?
And it's all about them big city kitties, boys.
Big city kitties.
Yeah, just another thing, and and I don't have my phone on me right now, but the fella who played Scotty Wallace is actually a dog trainer, and I've chatted with him a couple of times. So the You episode, which will be coming up, I think, this season, and Scotty Wallace keeps poor company. So, but he is actually a dog trainer, and I chat
in
with
BC
him.
too.
Yeah. So I think he may take care of some of the doggies that are on the show or something. But
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love one of the things that I love about the show also is that there's behind the scenes stuff where they've brought puppies in on the set, and Jared Kiso is just laying on the floor and they're just attacking
Oh my
him.
God!
So
See,
he is Wayne in real life.
That is the only
pets.
reason to be famous, in my opinion, to be able to just spend the day with like puppies just crawling all over me. Oh, that's what you do.
Oh,
or like,
but be famous enough where you only had to hang out with them. You didn't have
exactly. Don't have to clean up after them.
You could take your money and put them all to the SPCA or whatever you wanted, and then just say, my only requirement is I get to come hang out with the puppies.
I get to play with them anytime I want. That's going to be my retirement dream right there. We, if we're not doing it ourselves, like we have to live close to somewhere where I can just go, I just want to hang out in a room with puppies all day. Okay, cool.
Puppies. Yeah.
So Liz,
and I have a note from my doctor. Puppies.
my emotional support puppies. my prescription.
Yes.
So Liz, petfinder.com and
Puyallup Animal Rescue, or you could look at, like I mentioned, you can hashtag Letterkennies on Instagram and it will lead you to me and you'll be able to find all my links there and stuff like that.
We love it. We love it. And we love you.
Absolutely.
I love you guys so much.
All right. So let's, so we look forward to seeing everybody next week. I'm going to go ahead and play our outro music by the Reptilian Dilemma. Thanks for listening to this episode of How Are You Now Pod. This week's episode was with music of the Reptilian Dilemma. Check our show notes for where to find them. All their information is on there. We'd like to thank our guest this week, Liz Orton. She is a wonderful person, and you'll be able to find some information about her in our show notes as well. If you'd like to send us an email, we're at host@howareyounowpod.com, and we're also on Twitter, Instagram, and our website, www.howareyounowpod.com. Take care, you D-gens. We'll see you next week.